Good morning, Chavra. Today is the 26th day of the month of Teves. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, and today's class is dedicated in memory of Udis Bas Avraham, the mother of Adam Schneider, who's here. Adam, you want to come up closer? And today's her yard site. Her neshama shel Evan Aliyah, Udis Bas Avraham. Okay, we're on page 78 in the Chayenu. Jeff, open up. Let's go. Oh, that's the old one. In today's lesson, the Beinani's good intent, meaning the Beinani does the best he can. He does extensive meditation on Hashem, is linked to deed by divine intervention. Hashem helps him along by connecting his kavana to the mitzvahs, serving as the inspiration towards performance and thus elevating his mitzvahs. Our sages of blessed memory, it's a remez, so Ramzu, they hinted at the principle stated here, that the tfuna love has the power of elevating one's Torah mitzvahs. You put in your effort, you put in extra kavana, you have ava and yira, and then suddenly your mitzvah will be elevated to the next level. So you have to put in your part, Hashem will do his part. In everything, of course, but even in your performance of mitzvahs and Torah study. So our sages have taught us that Hashem joins a good thought and brings it to deed. It could have said, or it should have said, or the simple meaning is, it could have said that the Torah considers him as though he has actually done it, even without doing it. Interesting. So why the expression Hashem joins the thought to the deed? Which seems to indicate that the thought was indeed implanted, but the action is somehow detached and requires that Hashem bring them together. So let's explain this Inyan. What does this mean? Ella Inyan. So we're going to explain what this means here as follows. It's the revealed fear and love of Hashem in the heart that vest themselves in one's performance of the mitzvah, giving them the vitality to soar on high. So you concentrate on including and inspiring the mitzvah with love and fear, with love and awe of Hashem. And then Hashem brings them into the performance of the mitzvah. Jeremy, come up, Jeremy. You get a shout out today. Jeremy's here for the share. So for the heart, there's also, you think the heart's spiritual in nature, because, is there anything really going on in the heart? Are you thinking in the heart? It's the base, it's the seat of the emotions. But here, the heart is also corporal. It's just another organ of the body. So therefore, when one feels palpable love in his heart, which indicates that the revelation in the soul has become materialized to the point where it could be experienced as feeling a love in this heart, which is another organ in the body, then this soul revelation, this love, can also be received and expressed in other parts of the body. And when it's so received, and when the organ acts in accordance with the love in the heart that's worked up in the heart, this fiery love, then this love lends vitality to the actions. It lends vitality to the other parts of the body, to the hand that puts on the tefillin. For the heart is the source of vitality for all the organs, as Alter Rebbe now goes on to say. The heart is, however, internal and is the organ source of vitality. Without the heart beating, man, you get some problems, right? You could live, chas v'shalom, a person shouldn't be faced with such a challenge, but you can live without arms and legs, but you can't live without a heart. So we see in practice. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped. Therefore, because the heart, even though it's physical, it's another organ, is so close to the other organs and it provides them energy, vitality, right? It pumps the blood to them. It can clothe itself in their actions to be their wings, elevating them. The hand might be doing the action mitzvah. The feet might be taking you to shul. The mind, the words might be being said by the lips. But the heart gives them that enthusiasm of energy of love. So it's the wings, like we said before, like we said yesterday. A bird without wings, it's a nebuch bird. It just bops around. But once it has wings, it soars. So our mitzvahs soar when we have. So we see when one acts out of love, suddenly his hands become animated, and his soul revelation reaches the point where it's felt in a revealed love. It's become materialized, that it could be experienced in the other organs of the body and therefore animate their actions. Why does a person shuckle? His whole body feels like it's into it. The heart wasn't doing its job. That wouldn't happen. However, the above mentioned fear and love, the awe. I like the word awe a little bit better, but it says fear, so I'm going to go with fear. But it's really more like this awesome feeling versus fear. You think fear is like, you're scared of something. I hate getting scared. The kids jump out and scare me. They know not to do that unless they're really upset with me, and then they scare me. But people don't like fear, but awe is totally different. You don't have like dread in your heart, like fear that makes you jump. It's like, wow, can't believe Hashem is worried about me. I have so much to worry about. I'll look at the beautiful world that Hashem created full of. So the above mentioned fear and love that are in the intellect of the brain and the recesses of the heart are of a far higher order than the level of action. It is also, in a way, a bit of action on its own, but it's the love and fear. There's your heart is pumping faster. There's a little action happening. There's all sorts of things going on in the brain. Therefore, they cannot clothe themselves in the performance of the mitzvahs to become their intellectual power and vitality, to elevate them so that they may soar high. What does that mean? The inability of the love to find expression beyond the mind, because really, we all say that love and emotions come from the heart. If you really break it down, it comes from the brain. The brain really dictates what's going to happen. If you're just running around with love, then you're not really thinking. You're not really thinking. You gotta halt cup. So the inability of the love to find expression beyond the mind, which is far more spiritual than any of the other organs. Where do you think about Hashem? In your brain. How do you connect spiritually? Through your mind. So the brain is the most spiritual organ, and indicates that the revelation of the neshama present in this tevuna, love and awe, has not become materialized enough to affect the other more corporal organs. So if you think you're having kavanah, but it's not really affecting it, you got to work a little bit hard. If not, for the fact that Hashem joins and unites them together with the actions. So how could it be that there is a disconnect? We see that there is a connection. How? Because Hashem does the trick. Hashem does the rest. He pushes us over the top to help connect the emotions to the action. Because otherwise, especially today, as we mentioned, we can't. The best we can do in experiencing connection to Hashem is learn Torah mitzvahs. That's not a minor thing. But in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, they saw miracles all the time. They experienced godliness and holiness in the world in miraculous ways. So we don't have that in Golus. So we need Hashem to connect the emotions and the mitzvah, and He does. It was Simchas Torah dancing. We're like over the moon. Purim's coming and Hanukkah, and every single day when we davening with so much kavanah, it's like, well, you really reached it on your own? No, you put in your effort, and Hashem helps you get to the next level. Sounds simple enough, because I can close my eyes all I want and really try to concentrate on the davening, and then you finish davening, you're like, it felt a little empty. Or you say, that was a geschmack of davening, but I know myself. And you know yourselves. The Eibusha that helped you get to that level. So v'hei nikrois b'shem achshava toiva. Ki einon dechil rechim mamish b'skalus liboy. They, what are we talking about here? The love and the fear of Hashem are called good thought. For they are not actually love and fear in a revealed state in the heart. Where are they? Ki ein b'svunas moiche v'salumois liboy kinis gelil. Where is this love and fear? Really, it's in the brain. And it's in the recesses of the heart. It's there somewhere. But it's hard to bring out a love and fear of the Eibishter when the Eibishter is so hidden today. It's hard. Maybe we can scratch the surface a little bit. So they're called good thoughts. And this then is the illusion contained in the statement that Hashem says, Hashem joins the good thoughts to the deed. We need Hashem to make that connection, to connect the wires for us. You might figure everything out, but sometimes you get something in the mail, it's a little technical, you order something, ordered some clickers for the car, you think you figured it out. Call the expert, he says, just do this, and that's it. You have the tools, but you don't know how to make the connection. You need an electrician to help you do that. We had a contractor. He was good. He liked to do everything. When it comes to the actual wires and turning things on, that I call the electrician. I know, whatever. He has experience. We all have experience. I changed this outlet by myself. That's the last time I'll ever do that. Woo, that shock, You think you know how to do it. You have everything figured out, but you need somebody to help you make that final connection. So the Eibusher makes the final connection here. So the Alter Rebbe says in the following note that he says this idea is expressed in the Kabbalah in terms of the Sfirot, the divine attributes. And from this, we can understand its parallel in human faculties. So in the Haggadah, in the footnote on page 80, the Svuna of Oisiyos Bein. Ubas, Shehein, the Chilurchim Ubein, Beis Nun, and Bas Beis Sof. So it's written in the Zayar Eitz Chaim that the Hebrew word Tevuna, take the word for Tevuna. It comprises the letters which form Bain and Bas, son and daughter, which in terms of human emotions represent love and fear. Sometimes the Tvuna descends to become the intelligence from the feminine aspect of the small things, meaning the recipient of the divine midas or attributes, which are referred to collectively as the small image, which in the human sphere refers to the letters of the Torah and the mitzvahs. Maybe that makes sense because they're small. You got to read it. Tiny little letters. So the normal order would be that the Tfuna descends first to the small image, the midas, and then to the feminine aspect, the attribute of Malchus. Sometimes, however, there's a direct flow from Bina to Malchus, bypassing the intervening midas. And in terms of what service to Hashem, this means the normal procedure should be that the understanding derived from the meditation should affect his emotions and arouse a love and fear. And these emotions should in turn express themselves in the performance of the mitzvah. This is, however, an alternative method of affecting one's actions through the direct influence of the tefuna. That's a higher level, when it could be directly, when your meditation on loving and fearing Hashem could directly affect the action. That's good. That's amazing. But it doesn't always happen. You usually need Hashem to bring you to that level. A Maskil Yavin and people that study this idea, this subject at great length would understand this idea. Ein tzedov zeh mitzaref HaKadosh Baruch Hu k'dei lalos ma'aseh hamitzvos ve'izkat Torah anasim ha'idei machshava tova hanisgeres le'el ad olam habriya. But Hashem affects this joining of tefuna, the concept of when you meditate on the love of Hashem, and the awe of Hashem, the greatness of God. He joins this meditation that you put, the effort that you put into the mitzvah. So that's, I guess, the perfect time to do it would be before davening, before you put on your tefillin. You want to do a holy commandment that we're commanded to do. It's an action-based mitzvah. Not all mitzvahs are action-based. You're about to put on tefillin. Stop for a moment. You're supposed to have kavanah before you put on tefillin. You're supposed to think of certain things. It's mitzrayim and connecting to the Eibishter with this mitzvah. So you stop and you think, and you try to conjure up as much as you possibly can. It's not easy. A love for Hashem and a fear for Hashem and an awe of a God. And then Hashem helps you connect it to the mitzvah. And you feel good about putting on the tefillin. You feel it in your heart. And why does Hashem do this? In order to elevate the performance of the mitzvah and the Torah study. Hashem wants you to feel good about learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. If you felt horrible or indifferent, would you want to do it every single time? Maybe, but maybe out of guilt, maybe out of habit. But you want to have a little bit of emotion involved, good energy. So when the Torah mitzvahs are carried out through the influence of the good thought, you worked on it, Hashem helps you the rest of the way, mentioned above, and now it's being brought down through the spheres into the world of Bria, the world of Bria being the level to which ascends the performance of Torah mitzvahs when it's motivated by love and fear. So again, Bria is a higher world. So when you're doing a mitzvah, you're raising up the physical mitzvah into a spiritual world higher. And when are you doing that? When it's motivated, when you preview the mitzvah with love and fear, with the meditation of love and fear of Hashem. That's how you elevate the mitzvah. Maybe you could elevate it while you're doing the mitzvah, you're doing it with simcha, whatever. There might be other ways. But if you really want to do it right, you take a few minutes to focus on the kavanah of love and fearing Hashem and thanking Him for giving you the opportunity to do this mitzvah, to connect to Him in this way. However, even without this joining that Hashem connects you from the kavana to the mitzvah, they rise to the world of Yitzira. This is the world just above us. So we want to really try to go to the next level. It's like we don't want to, we go from Little League. We don't want to have to go through A, B, double A, triple A. We want to go straight to the majors. Okay, but sometimes you have to go a couple years through the minor league system. So they rise to the world of Yitzira by means of the natural fear and love, which are latent in the heart of every Jew from birth, as will be explained later. So maybe, Take, just 1 minute, we're almost done. Maybe, Take, you didn't sit down to have that kavanah. Maybe it didn't reach the world of Bria. But because every single Jew has a love within his heart, and he has a natural awe and fear of the greatness of Hashem and connection to Hashem in this way, so automatically when he does the mitzvah, it already elevates to the next world, Yitzira. You want to take it to the next level? You have to have extra kavanah. You have to really focus. And then Hashem will help you get it to the next level. So this concludes the 17th chapter of Tanya. In summary, even one who cannot create a conscious, palpable love and fear of Hashem in his heart, he too could serve Hashem with perfect service through thinking and putting some time into meditating on these emotions, this tfuna of love and awe and fear of Hashem. And then when he does that, his performance of Torah mitzvahs will ascend to the same level as those that are motivated by a revealed love and fear of Hashem. And the takeaway, performing a mitzvah has a great effect, much, much greater than we could ever imagine. If you're giving tzedakah, you know that somebody's being affected and somebody's being, helped by it. But if you're putting on tefillin, you think, so what did I do? What did I accomplish? And then why did the Rebbe tell us to put on tefillin here to help the soldiers in Israel during the 67 war? Because when we do a mitzvah, we're affecting the higher worlds, and in turn, Hashem then showers down blessings upon the world, not just on us. But I always say this, like when you're sprinkling salt, if you go here, you're just going to get that little area. But if you go here, it has the cone effect. So the higher your mitzvah goes, and you do everything that you need to do, the brachas that are going to come down are going to spread out, not just on you, but on your family and your friends, and the whole city and state and country and the entire world will benefit from your performance of the mitzvah. So the more you put in, the more you'll gain, and not just you, but all those around you. And hopefully we can make the world a better and brighter place through our mitzvah observance and our Torah learning. All right, that's it for today, folks. Go get them.